you get when you combine two childhood friends who have never grown up, have an unhealthy competitive streak, and always think they're the funniest people in the room? You get the Unfunniest podcast!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, now, we call this the act of mating.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children.
Hey, everybody. It is the 9th of June, 6/9/2025, as Gronk would say, 6/9. But we are here coming in with episode 9 for you guys. And just wanted to welcome everybody for the 9th episode that have been coming around. We've been seeing the numbers. We're seeing people actually watching. Not just Benjamin. We appreciate you and your content, and we listen and we're talking more sports. So been a fun week. It was a rough weekend in the Miller household. Everyone is sick, I think, except the dog. Kathy's sick, Charlotte's sick, I was sick a little bit. So you two probably had better weekends than what we had. So what'd you guys do this past weekend?
Can I draw attention to the sun in my face?
Mike is glowing.
I thought there was just a halo around you for, being as
the Lord is looking down on you.
Well, we don't see the sun much in these parts. I feel like I have to take a picture of it.
You're gonna have to put sunscreen in that one spot.
Yeah. I've got some technical information and videos on sunscreen and the negative effects of it. We'll save that for later.
Yeah,
I'll have to sign off at that point.
The positives probably still.
I'm kidding. Jesus.
You know what? It's one of the things we said going into this is we weren't going to be anything controversial. We weren't going to have anything which, even in sports nowadays, politics, everything else, no matter what, everything is controversy. But I think there's certain things in life, no matter what, you're still better off doing them than others.
Yes. It's one of the things that we've talked about, that all three of us do have full-time jobs that we certainly enjoy. Our careers
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, but there's a relative space that we have to stay within that I think we can't venture out of too much. That I think, believe me, the three of us could talk about things, and this could get pretty fired up, to say the least. But we do have to be careful of what we say. Mark, you and I had a specific conversation about that if there ever comes a day where we do want to get really fired up, that we'd have to talk about that. But I think that, some of the most talked about podcasts, some of the biggest
so I tell you what,
rated
if
podcasts have lots of controversial topics.
Yeah, if anyone wants to pay us a couple $100,000 a year each, we'll gladly quit our jobs and do this full time. But until that day, we're going to stay right down the middle with everything. When it comes
Don't underestimate how controversial we could be.
You haven't seen anything till you heard us talk. Michael, you and Bobby did something fun yesterday. What'd you guys do?
We took our CPL class.
Nice. How'd that go? Tell us about it.
It was good. Actually, Bobby and I, we had to go to the county clerk's office this morning and fill out the application and then apply actually with the county for the CPL. But we both agreed as we were driving there that it was pretty informative. I had learned a lot of things that I probably didn't realize. It certainly taught you a lot, not to go down a rabbit hole of everything that they taught, but just kind of a brief synopsis. One of the things, obviously, this day and age. What happened? Did I leave? Trying to reconnect. Make sure you have a stable internet connection.
Word senior seems to keep freezing.
Mike's apparently Mike's internet is going in and out. There we go. Mike, yeah, there you go.
I don't know what the heck happened.
He is frozen again.
Oh, look at that. That's
I'm gonna reboot my computer. Huh? Am I back?
Yeah, Mike's gonna come back on here, folks. Just
now you are.
This is our first live broadcast.
Nope, you're frozen again.
On YouTube and on Facebook. But that being said, Jimmy, how about yourself? What'd you do this past? What'd you go?
I had a bad feeling about.
Finally got the boat in the water. on Saturday, so that was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
took Mike out for a ride. His daughter Kaylee. Bobby was working on a boat, wheeling it out, and his girlfriend Sam was there, so they all came out after.
Nice.
So it was nice. Wasn't
very cool.
the warmest day, but hey, it's a good start. In week in the gym.
Yesterday, it was. Yesterday, I ended up just in the backyard. We ended up cutting the grass. We ended up just with Kathy and Charlotte being sick, I was able to at least get out and do that and kind of move around a little bit and get some stuff done. So that being said, with Mike now finally still coming, it looks like he's still rebooting and gonna wait to come.
Another great face for him.
It's Mike. We all know him by now when it comes to that. So, but cool thing with that, obviously fun weekends for all of us. One of the things that you talk about the weather not being the greatest or not being the hottest, there is still one thing that is extremely hot in this city. Tigers.
Oh yeah.
And it is insane. There was a stat I saw, something to the effect of, I think they've had 21 series and they've won 14 out of those 21 series this year outright. That's constituting a loss if they broke even on the series. Like when they played the Sox the other day and went 2-2, it was considered a loss and not a direct win. So ridiculous how they're playing. They're the hottest team in baseball since last August, I think it was, end of July. Insane. You talked about it, Jim, but have you been down to a game yet this year?
I haven't. I want to go for sure. But yeah, it was great to see Comerica sold out all 3 games. I think that was the largest attendance since the play-in game last year. Or no, it was the series before the playoffs. Wasn't that against the White Sox or something?
The White Sox game.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, they actually opened up the what do you call it?
Yeah, standing room.
Standing room tickets, yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy even said
son of a
series to go to. It would have been fun to go to it, but
he's back.
Yeah, it would have been expensive to go.
I'm going to throw this computer through a wall.
Hey, I finally got to talk.
Yeah,
sorry.
I said, and of course, everybody that is watching live, all like maybe one person, 2 people. Yeah, and you'll see this eventually, but these are the fun growing pains we kind of go through with it. But Mike, we were just talking about the Tigers. I think I saw a stat that of the 21 series they played this year, they've won 14 series outright.
Beat the Cubbies 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and Cubs were one of the best teams in the NL.
Yeah,
best teams in the NL Central.
Yeah. Well, they got the best rated offense. They're number 1 too.
Cubs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So amazing to see Tigers still on a roll. They're pitching. The one thing that is not doing well this year, that was extremely popular the last couple of years, was last year was the pitching chaos. The last couple of times where they've done the opener, it really seems like that has not worked. And I think they still, to me, going into trade deadline, coming up here within the next month, you need to add probably a number 4 starter, a number 5 starter, and I think you need to add a right-handed bat. I think that's what everyone keeps saying. But if you add those 2 things, I think you're going to have
the bat's going to be one of the most important things.
Yeah, but the one thing about the bats is they've been consistent.
Well, yeah, they have. They're scoring runs. I mean, clearly that's what you want to. That's what you want to do when you've got as strong pitching as you do. I mean, I don't. Listen, Scooble's going to lose a game or 2, but holy mackerel, he looks unstoppable. Mm-hmm. He's incredible. Yeah. I mean, he's proven why he was a Cy Young Award winner last year. So,
well, it's just funny just watching them. You're like, all right, whose night is it going to be? Because every it's different. They're all stepping up.
Mm-hmm. I admittedly haven't watched much about baseball, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm not.
It's been tough. Yeah, it's been tough with everything going on, with all the other sports going on, with everything else that we've got kind of happening. And we'll talk about the NBA and NHL playoffs here coming up as well. But, funny thing too, Mike, the other day I kind of half made a joke with Kathy. For the last couple of years prior to when Charlotte was born, I would always sit and laugh at you and be like, Mike, what do you mean you can't watch TV? What do you mean you don't have 5 minutes to do this? What do you mean you don't have 2 minutes to do that? And I was like, what the hell is he doing? He's crazy when he says that. And yeah, I don't have time to watch anything right now. We watched TV for about 5-10 minutes a night, and that's about it. We watched another topic completely. The series called The Four Seasons on Netflix was really good. But yeah, we watch sports for a little bit each night and go to bed early and do the same thing the next day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
are you guys both locked up now?
I don't know. I guess this is the weird part, but the older I get, the more I can't sit still. You would think it'd be the opposite. My the guy that I like to follow, Gary Brecka from 10X Health, he talks about aging is the relentless pursuit of comfort, and it should be the complete opposite. To stress the body, not to go on a long dissertation, but to stress the body is actually good. Things when you're hungry, it's actually good. You should be hungry. It causes your body to go into self-survival mode. But yeah, the whole TV thing, I don't know. I like the worst. For some reason, the worst thing in the world for me on a Sunday morning is getting up and sitting down in my recliner and watching TV. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I got to be active. I need to be doing things. So, but yeah. No, and obviously with kids, it makes it pretty tough, as you have learned very well over the past 9 years now. Yes. Yeah. When people say they don't have any time, they don't have time because they don't make time. I have to watch TV.
It's a good point.
Absolutely. And, the first thing I do in the morning when I would wake up would be to turn something on. You turn ESPN, you turn something like that on. And now I grab a cup of coffee and I'll sit in silence and do nothing. Just relax. Wake up in the morning and then move on. Yeah.
You should live stream that.
Okay, so let's get back to... It's exciting, let me tell you. But let's get back to what we were talking about with the Tigers. And you haven't been watching much of it. But, I think coming up here now, other playoffs are running down. I think it's going to be fun to see what goes on because they're not going away. They still got a big lead in the Central. They still got a lot of stuff going on there. And I really think that it's just going to continue to advance, continue to do more than what they're doing right now.
It amazes me that, as much as I listen to the radio because I drive so much, but to even still hear some of the calls, well, I don't know. What about if they do this? Guys, it's the middle of June. I know it doesn't feel like it except for a day or two here and there. It's the middle of June. They're pretty consistent. I mean, when the Tribe came into town and beat them 3 out of 4 games, I think that was kind of weird how everybody went into panic mode and they're like, "Oh, no, this is it. This is the turning point." And then they reeled off 7 straight wins, I think it was. So that's the characteristic of a good baseball team. It's a characteristic of any good sports team. You're going to come across lulls, especially in a baseball season. And, they lose a few games, they come back and they win even more. So it's a testament to them. It's a testament to AJ Hinch, what he's doing. Yeah.
It's pretty resilient, though, with how young of a ball club they are.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say is
I think that's
typically you get scared, especially coming out of Cleveland. But I mean, they just move forward. And they just keep winning.
Speaking of the Indians, Guardians, it's Terry Francona's return to the Jake Progressive Field as he is there for the first time as the manager of the Reds this evening. So Tito back.
Red Stockings.
The Red Stockings, yeah.
Battle
of Ohio. Here we go. Huh?
Yeah. Said it'd be Tito's. It was a great manager. His dad was great. Everything there, but yeah. But Jim, we talked about great teams. We talked about doing great things, and lo and behold, we have a team in Metro Detroit that's going to be playing for a championship next weekend in St. Louis. The Michigan Panthers beat the Birmingham Stallions. It was actually a good game. I watched most of it yesterday while we was doing some cleaning, getting some stuff done. Finally, they had their quarterback Bryce Perkins back after the last 4 weeks and showed why he's the best quarterback in the UFL. And
I want to call it XFL
going in
too.
And playing the DC Commanders. I know they're playing the DC Commanders next week in St. Louis for the championship, and I still think we should get.
They're not called the Commanders. Together. They're called the.
Let's get the three of us on a road trip. Oh, Defenders, right?
Defenders. Easily mistaken.
Yeah, Defenders, Commanders. Yeah, it's whatever. It's the same thing. The Panthers beat up
Redskins.
A couple weeks, and I'm gonna say this that it's no shock that the Panthers are in the championship game the first year that the Unfunniest podcast was credentialed and started going to the games and were there in person. I don't think there's much coincidence about that.
Nope, not at all. It's all us. Good luck, Charms.
I watched
100%.
second, third, and fourth quarter.
You watched what?
And it was
Did you?
I said I watched the second, third, and fourth. So most of the game as well. They look good. I mean, they were coming back here and there, but they wouldn't let up. That one play, I forget who's the receiver where he got that block and he went, was it like 70, 73 yards? That was a hell of a run.
Well, in the run by Perkins, do you remember that run where he went left?
Well, he scored the touchdown, or
it was I don't know if it was a touchdown, but it was third down and like 8 or third down and 12. And he scrambled left and a couple guys hit him. He spun and it was like the guys were afraid to tackle him, and he ended up getting like 27 yards for a first down out of it. And
I was practicing firearms.
with what they've got with everything, how he moves. What's that?
I was practicing my firearms before, which I was explaining before I got cut off by this wonderful Wi-Fi system.
Mine's acting up too. You guys keep talk about that coming in and out.
But yeah, so Panthers on Saturday. Obviously, we'd love to go down there, but I'm not taking a trip to St. Louis just for going when it comes to that. But it should be fun there. But there are 2 other series going on, NBA and NHL right now. Tonight, while we're recording, you've got Game 3 between the Panthers and the Oilers.
You still going with the Oilers in 6?
I am. I think when you watch those games, I still think the Oilers are the best team that's playing there. I think the guttiest team by far is the Panthers, as far as what they do, as far as how they play. But the talent, their talent is on the Oilers side. It's they're playing down, and I don't want to say down because that sounds bad, but they're playing to the Panthers level. They're playing the Panthers game. And that's what's hurting them when it comes to it. But if they just played their game outright, I don't think they'd have much of a problem with it.
Did you?
I mean,
see that
both games into overtime. That crowd's pretty electric in Edmonton. That first game went to single overtime. Second game went to double overtime. They're about as evenly matched. I think you got a good point. I think that the Panthers are about as resilient as they come, but they're both about as evenly matched as possible. McDavid's unbelievable. I mean, that kid, holy mackerel. He's that overtime goal and the way he created along the boards. Then he shot down the ice, got behind the net, came around down the net, and then made the pass out front for the game-winning goal in overtime. I mean, that just kind of, it's a testament to who he is. And then again, here comes Florida. Kachuk was on the ice for the double overtime winner. It's your buddy Brad Marchand again. I know you must have been going crazy, Miller. That's your good old buddy, old pal.
Yeah, he's my good old buddy, old pal. Yeah, exactly. Again, glad to have him on your team. Hate him when he's not on your team.
Yeah, well, yep, that's exactly what it is. It's one of those. He's definitely one of those guys. So,
yeah, no, it's there. In fact, the funny thing was if I'm not mistaken, they showed his parents in the crowd, and it's hilarious that just kind of funny. There was the way that everything was. It was his parents, his mom's cheering in the middle of the stands, and I think if it had been anybody else, just some random people, they would have gone through there. But quick update: Panthers 1, Oilers 0, 10 minutes into the first period. So they took up
in Sunrise, Florida.
For that. In Sunrise, not 45 minutes north of Miami or whatever, give or take.
Yeah, so if you go, when we would go, you just basically go straight out not straight out 95, the east-west road. Anyways, you go straight out. It's only 20 minutes from Fort Lauderdale. It's a cool setting. Oh no, we've lost Jim again.
Good Lord, we're
what is going on? Oh, he's back.
Oh, okay.
And you have Jim, turn on your mic. No.
There he goes.
He's gone. No. Hello.
All Jim is trying to do, we're figuring out our technical difficulties and getting Jim back. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. We had game 1, which was Jimmy. You there? Looks like you're
Jim
on,
too might have to restart his
Jimmy
computer.
will come back here in a second. The gremlins are starting in, but when you had game 1, Oklahoma City versus Indiana, everybody was Indiana's blowing them out. Nothing's going to happen, but they just kept sticking around. They kept coming back. They're just that resiliency Indiana did. And
you posted
wonder how
a
many
4-0 sweep by the OKC Thunder.
You
You went from 5 down to a 4-game sweep.
I think I said 5.
You said 5, but then you posted a 4-game sweep. Don't lie, Miller.
Right.
Lying
we're
son of a...
We're going with what I actually said. So,
all right.
But I think...
So you're sticking with 5.
I'm sticking with 5. But how many times... Oklahoma City... Look at what happened last game. Oklahoma City is just... It's amazing. In fact, one of the things... one of the analysts were talking about was when you have... They were talking about the running Rebels... UNLV from a number of years ago, where they never played any close games. And then when they got to the NCAA tournament, when they had to play Duke in the finals, in the Final Four, they lost because they didn't have any experience in any close games the entire season. And when it came to Oklahoma City in the playoffs this year, it was they either absolutely blew a team out or they
destroyed,
got killed, like they did against Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, they lost by 45 points to Minnesota or something like that.
Yeah, well, and then last night,
by far greatest player in the game.
Yeah. Well, and then last night, typical NBA fashion, game 2, really wasn't that close. The Pacers would get within 12, 13, then it'd go 14, 16, 18, 20. And then it never really, that game never, and I was kind of in and out of it, but that game never really seemed in doubt. Then again, so game 1 kind of felt the same way, but going into the third, you kind of feel a little bit of a switch. Pacers kind of started taking it to them, and then obviously made the comeback in the fourth quarter. And Halliburton with the clutch. I mean, he's that kid. What the heck? That is his 4th game-winning shot in the 2025 playoffs. So pretty impressive, to say the least. He just seems to have a knack for it. He got that ball, and you could see in his body language. He came down the court. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. Pulled up, shot with confidence. Boom, banged it in. Game winner. Over. See ya. There goes Miller's 4-game sweep.
It's a gentleman's sweep. That's what it always is.
Oh, yeah.
But
right.
Have you heard there's a controversy in the NBA right now when it comes to the games right now? Have you heard what this controversy is?
I have not.
So this is the first year they did not put the logo on the court. And if you look here, if you watch the games, they were actually superimposed logos because they did not put the Larry O'Brien trophy on the court like they had in the past. Really a dumb, stupid thing, but people are making a big deal out of it. So the NBA decided to digitally add in game 2, they digitally added the championship trophy. That's simple vinyl they can throw on there. And I guarantee when they play the games in Indiana, they're going to have them on the court.
These little nuances, whatever. I mean, people are going to find something to complain about. I mean, in my opinion, again, this is me. Once again, old man yelling at clouds. The less garbage there is on a court, the better. You want to put the Larry O'Brien trophy on the floor, fine, whatever. But these crazy courts with these crazy colors and the keys painted a different color, and then the keys not painted, and then the outside the key out to the 3-point lines, one color, and then you've got this. Oh, Jim is back.
Is that better?
Now I'm in the middle. I'm the monkey in the middle again.
Sorry. I have no idea.
I feel back in my normal spot.
Okay. So, Mike, talking about that, take a look at some of these other the O'Brien trophy on some of these other series. Look how crazy it was.
Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I just that Lakers thing is obnoxious. That looks so stupid.
Yeah, look at the one from the Heat.
Again, just my opinion. Yeah. I forgot about that.
The Mavericks?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Lakers,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just have the courts.
It's stupid little things.
If Indy wears those stupid
everyone's-
neon white with the Indy across the chest for tomorrow, I think are they playing tomorrow night?
No, they'll play. Yeah, maybe
Tuesday
they will.
night.
It's either tomorrow or Wednesday. Yeah.
One
But
moment.
usually they'll probably play Wednesday.
I believe still 1-0 Panthers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The NBA Wednesday, of course. At some point we're gonna be in July playing the NBA finals, but
Of course.
What's that?
Absolutely. So just how long the series take. So found a list, by the way, speaking of crazy things, speaking of different things like there, of all of the different, it was in the Detroit Free Press, and I think it was in June 9th. So it was in today's paper. They had a list of the 12 craziest nicknames for high school sports in Michigan, and Michigan's got some cool ones. We're going to go over some ones for around the country as well, which my favorite, most unique one, and they still have it to this day, Robstown, Texas. I still don't know how they have it, but they're cotton pickers in Robstown, Texas. Other crazy little stupid fact, Robstown, Texas, the home of Texas Hold'em poker. But most of these I knew.
Little known facts.
But some of them I wasn't sure. Yeah, the stupid facts. That's what Miller's known for. But the first one on the list they had was Houghton High School, Houghton, Michigan, in the UP. They're the Gremlins. So since 1948,
cool.
They were the Gremlins. Don't give them water or feed them at night. Dexter High School. Dexter are the Dreadnoughts. A dreadnought is a type of battleship.
A dreadnought is a type of a battleship?
I never knew that.
I did not know that.
Dreadnought, Nought, spelled differently than the mascot, is a type of battleship.
Well, I would think it would be.
Came from the wartime.
Yeah, well, I almost think it would be a KNOT because that is a knot, which is a measurement of wind speed and or marine course over ground speed. I'm not going to dive into that. We should have that as a topic one of these times. Yeah, you're welcome.
That's in the R-rated version.
Just like
Cannot?
Pershing High School. Mike, you should know this one. What's Pershing's nickname?
Oh, jeez.
The coolest nickname.
Putting me on the spot. I'm not sure. What is it?
The Doughboys. Pershing Doughboys.
Oh, yeah. Dag
Pershing.
nabbit. I can't believe I forgot about that.
Oh, the Pillsbury's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Said that because they had the big white. They had the big white uniforms when they were marching in the 1930s. Lincoln Park High School, known as the Rail Splitters. I didn't no idea about this one because the Rail Splitters was a nickname for Abraham Lincoln. Zeeland High School West and Zeeland High School East are the Ducks and the Chicks, the DUX and the CHIX. Apparently, Zeeland is the chick capital of the Midwest.
Whoa.
The number of duck hatcheries.
Who knew?
Yeah. Watersmet High School near the Michigan-Wisconsin border. This was a celebration on ESPN. They're the Nimrods.
I saw that one. What a bunch of Nimrods.
Our local team here, basically almost see it from my house. Mount Clemens High School, one of the more unique names as well. The Battling Bathers.
Bathers, yeah.
Yeah. Mount Clemens being the health spa capital in the early 1900s.
Should you look up and see what their enrollment is now in Mount Clemens? It's pretty bad.
We were just talking about that. They just declined their most recent millage. Everything's been declined. I don't think it's going to be a school in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And some of the other cool ones, they had the Flivvers, Flivvers for Kingsford High School. The Model Towners. So yeah, some in the tractors, Fordson High School tractors. That one was pretty cool. But I saw this list too. Some of these other ones that were pretty cool around the country. In Cobden, Illinois, it's the Cobden Apple Knockers. Yep.
Where do they come up
Apple
with these
knockers.
names?
Apparently, the apple knocker depicted as a man with freckles wearing overalls, knocking apples out of the tree. The Jordan in Sandy, Utah, the Jordan Beet Diggers. Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania, are the Boiling Springs Bubblers. The Hooperston, Illinois, the Hooperston Corn Jerkers. Yeah, some of these fun ones.
Yeah, so these are all old school names because you
Corn
can't get away
jerker.
with naming a team like that this day and age.
Yeah, imagine the
No.
Nimrods
and,
now.
There's actually
more power
two
to 'em,
in
but-
the area that I go to. One was called these are part of my territory in southern Illinois. The first one is the Northeast Du Bois Jeeps, Jeeps. Apparently it's a Jeep was a character with magical or supernatural abilities in a Popeye comic in the 1930s. And then there's another one, they're the Frankfurters, and their mascot is an actual hot dog. So
The Frankfurters?
it's kind of, yeah, the Frankfurters. So
Wow.
kind of stupid, kind of funny. New Brunsville High School in Texas are the Unicorns. Brewer High Witches. Yeah, they're kind of funny, some of these. So if anybody else has any funny ones that they want to share, reach out on social media. We'll post this. I think some of them are pretty funny, but always kind of unique and kind of go around the country and see. We all travel a lot, so we can kind of see those different areas and kind of everything there too.
The Rough Riders.
Anyone stick out for you? The past, Mike. Some of those funny ones.
No, the Nimrods is pretty funny though. That's probably one of my favorites. Let's go, Nimrods.
Yeah, they're more funny than unique. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of funny and unique, just like your brother, I think we kind of got to go into something here. It's that time.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Mike's Rant of the Week. And now, here is Mike with his rant.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Mike. We got some serious gremlins going on because I couldn't hear half of that. But Michael, it's your rant.
You couldn't hear half, but the levels were very loud in my ears.
Surround sound here.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was loud.
That being said, Mike, go ahead. What is your rant of the week
this week? I'll dive a little deeper. Since I am in the service industry and the marine industry, I hear a lot of what goes on between the wholesale side and the consumer side and some of the demands that the consumers make. I'll dive into a little bit of exactly what I'm trying to get at, but there's been a couple of instances lately at both restaurants, at other service places that I guess the one thing that I would probably really focus on is how, as a society, we have become everything revolves around me. What have you done for me in the last 30 seconds? This is my world. I'm living in it, and you sure as heck better succumb to all of my needs. So the one thing I'll say is it does amaze me to listen to all of these different places that I go to, and I listen to the stories about customers that call up and rant and rave and make many, 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 many demands that they think it's going to put them in, let's just say, in the front of the line. It's pretty amazing how most places, when you start ranting and raving about things, you actually get pushed to the back of the line. Kind-heartedness is what really gets you top level service. The one thing I will say this. So I grew up, and Jim can probably attest to this, with a father that when we would go to restaurants, he thought that the waitstaff should be waiting hand and foot on him, and he made no qualms about expressing his opinions to the point of, in some instances, embarrassment. I won't go into too much past that, but I guess what my point is trying to get across is the wait staff, the service staff, whether it's at a restaurant, whether it's at a hair salon, whether it is at a local marine dealer, people are in business to, especially in this industry, especially in the service industry, they're in the business of trying to make people happy, right? people that, again, I think get on these tangents and just they want to complain about everything. Use Google reviews as an example. Okay, I don't think there's anybody out there. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's plenty of good reviews, but I think that people look and go to places specifically to try and have a negative review on it, right? They want to get attention by bringing negative attention to a place. Again, I guess the one thing I'll say is also that people are not purposefully, as a general rule, let's just use the restaurant again, right? You're at a table, the wait staff is there, they're waiting hand and foot on you. They're trying to make the best possible situation there when you're there, okay? To watch people and the way they act is embarrassing. There was an incident this past couple of weeks. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say the establishment. Where there was a occasion at let's just say a salon, and this young lady apparently was new at the salon. Someone had come in there, allegedly, was a longtime customer. The new young lady that was at the salon messed up in some way, didn't exactly do things to the liking of this long-term customer. Apparently there was some water that was sprayed on him, whatever, right? 2 hours later, this particular individual went home, decided to call the salon and complain and say that if she was not fired, again, this is alleged, that she would never come back there. So apparently this particular establishment did let go of the poor young lady that had just started there. And I don't know what the details were or how it was explained, but I guess this harkens back to what kind of world do you live in where you go back and you think that you're so important that you're going to call a business and demand that someone is fired because something happened that wasn't to your liking. I get it. Everybody, if you're paying good money for something, absolutely, you expect a level of service. But why not have a little bit of humility? Take a step back, perhaps have a sidebar conversation with the owner of that business and say, hey, listen, you know what? I've been coming here for a long time. I pay a lot of money. This poor person obviously was having a bad day. Maybe you should pull that person aside, right? This could be even at a restaurant. Let's pull that person aside. Let's have a conversation with them. Let's say, hey, this is what you did wrong, but let's build on it. Instead of these knee-jerk reactions, and I see it all over the place too. There are people that call up all the time that demand someone is fired. Again, get off your soapbox. The world doesn't revolve around you. I'm really going down a rabbit hole. But yeah, go ahead. No, yeah, you guys can jump in here. I think it's a pretty important topic that it's getting worse in society. It really is. Topic.
Absolutely, and it's because why do people do that? And half the time, idiots are doing it for clicks. They're doing it for likes. They're doing it because trying to get their clout. They're trying to be more popular. They seem like they're more famous or whatever than they actually are. It's ridiculous.
What I would say to all of you out there that find yourself getting heated pretty quickly, we all can, right? Especially the angrier you get, the more heated things are going to get. But like you said, Mike, take a step back, take a different approach, be nice about it. And I can guarantee you the outcome will be a lot better than you raising your voice, yelling, demanding stuff. Because, who wants to help somebody that's just being a-hole? Is that okay, Mark?
Yeah, well, whatever you want to do, but at least we don't have to bleep that. But no, we've all been there. We the three of us work in service industry jobs. We deal with the public on a daily basis. There's a lot of customers and people. I'll go in and I went in and fixed a printer the other day. You know me, I'm not handy by any stretch of imagination, but had my tools. I was able to open up this $100,000 printer, open it up, get inside, fix it, and close it. An hour later, it's working. Part of it should have been, I should have charged these guys, should have charged the school district, $4,000 or $5,000 for that to be able to do it. But at the same time, I know that because I showed and I helped them and I did that $4,000 or $5,000 is going to come back tenfold when it comes down to it, because of simple decency in the end of showing good customer service and being there for somebody.
Well, and listen, I think this Okay, so we talked about tipping it was like the first or second episode, right?
Yeah.
So again, I think that the level of service has to be egregiously poor for me to not tip well. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm not saying it to pat myself on the back. I guess I just have such an appreciation for what people do. People have bad days. And the people that are in restaurants, at an establishment, whatever, need to understand that yes, people have bad days. Again, let's go back and say this again. You pay good money for service. You pay good money for good food. You pay good money to have your boat worked on. You pay good money to have your car worked on. There are certain circumstances, I'm sure, where somebody does something to tick someone else off, doesn't fix something right, whatever. But as a general rule, things are not being done on purpose. So let's again, if you just take 1,000-foot viewpoint of this, take a step back. Everybody needs to breathe. Like I said, with this instance at a salon, that person could have very easily turned that into a positive and gone to the owner and said, "Hey, this young lady, I think she's new. I've been coming to your salon for a long time. Today wasn't great. Okay, things didn't go well for me. However, use it as a learning and a teaching moment. Go back to that employee and say, this is what you did wrong. You're new. Okay. We're a great company to work for. We support our employees. And if I'm going to go really out on a limb here, and I'm going to say this. If I'm the owner of that business and I invest in my employees and I'm hiring somebody based off of qualifications and they are new, and I have a customer that calls up and demands that person is fired, and she says, I'll never come back to your establishment again, I'm going to have a conversation with that customer and say, listen, we love you to death. We really enjoy you. We value you as a customer. But for you to make a demand on us to do something with one of our employees, I'm sorry. But if you feel this way and you don't want to come back here again, we want you back. We're not asking you to not come back. But we're going to value our employees. We're going to value the hard work that they put in. And hey, listen, we're going to work with you. We want you as a customer. We're going to talk to this employee. We're going to make it right. You're going to want to come back to us. But please don't make demands like this. So,
no,
yeah.
Absolutely not. And once again, the one thing that we don't have in this country, in this world anymore is common decency. It is seeing it through someone else's eyes, seeing something else there. You are the most in social media has brought out the best and the worst in people. And you know what? Not everybody in the world needs a voice. I did not need to know what everybody thought about every situation. And the world was a lot better place when I didn't know how everyone felt about everything. It was much, much better place.
It's funny you say that too, because I mean, I was off of Facebook for 10 years. I really wasn't on at all. Every once in a while I'd pop on. And now I know why. There's plenty of comments.
So much negativity.
If you read some of the vitriol that is spewed online, it's incredible to me. So I'll tell you something else too. And it took everything I had. There was a situation at the marina where somebody, and again, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say what was said, but they basically were equating some very superficial ideas, some very superficial things that took precedent over boating in general. Okay. It was about investing a very large sum of money into Wi-Fi at the marina. Okay. And they made the comment of Wi-Fi is more important than gas in the boat. It took every ounce of my being to not get on Facebook and obliterate that. I shut my mouth. I didn't say a word. I'm not getting involved in that crap. I'm just not. But think about that, right? This goes back to our conversation about boating, family time, away time, unplug, get out of it. This particular person literally typed in, Wi-Fi is as important at a marina as gas in your boat.
I will say this.
What?
When was the last time that person's boat left their slip?
Well, okay, I get it. Right?
No. I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
If you are coming to the boat, if you're working from the boat, okay, right? Does the boss know maybe you're the boss? Maybe you can work from the boat. Maybe you need Wi-Fi. I get it.
One of these works just as well.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Even
Again,
better.
we're talking about investing a ridiculous amount of money into enhancing. We have Wi-Fi, enhancing Wi-Fi. This particular person made the comment of, and then you should have seen after that, because people got involved and it's like, okay, dude, seriously, did you really just say that Wi-Fi is more important than gas in a boat? We don't go to the boat to watch. We don't go to the boat to watch TV. We don't necessarily go to the boat to stream a bunch of stuff. And then the guy went crazy. He's like, okay, man from the 90s, wake up. I'm like, oh, God. Again, it took everything I had.
But we do go to the boat to watch college football and 17 different.
Yes. That's a
different story.
It's all part of it. I understand that. And I know it's 2025. Wi-Fi is important. Yes, it is. But as a general rule, let's just really quick list things that are important. Cleanliness, clean bathrooms, very good docks, a gas dock. Let me think. Well, we have
and this, which was last Friday. What was last Friday, Michael?
Oh, Donut Day. See, this is how you got me off my rant.
Right. That's the most important thing. This was a picture of Charlotte from 5 years ago at one of the greatest donut shops ever that unfortunately did not last, Daddy's Donuts. Omar, if you're listening to this, Omar's Donut Shop on Hall Road, which was one of the greatest. But did any of you guys celebrate National Donut Day?
No, I don't eat donuts.
No.
Come on, Michael.
No.
I haven't had a donut in a long time.
I had a bagel.
We stopped on the Charlotte, myself, and Kathy. We stopped on the way back from Indiana a few months ago. There was a place in Kalamazoo called Sweetwater's Donuts where we used to go.
I've heard of that.
Back in the olden days of the 90s, where we used to have to camp out for tickets, which kids won't understand the joy of camping out overnight for concerts or sporting events to get tickets. But we used to always get the same donuts from this, and I tried to give Charlotte and Kathy an experience. And yeah, it's just never the same, is it, when it comes to those kind of things? But still, in the end, it's always a fun time. But National Donut Day, we're gonna have to start celebrating some of these other ones. I think we've gone through about 45 minutes here. We've kind of gone through a lot of stuff.
Hold on a minute.
What
I gotta share. Well, hold on. I gotta share one of my.
Right.
We're gonna. I guess this is gonna have to be another segment of the podcast where we talk about stadium anthems. We talk about. Hold on. I gotta share my screen. Here we go. All right. Hold on a minute. Right. Well, let's see, Miller. Hold on. I got it. Dag nabbit. Can you guys see it?
We're getting new software.
Oh, hold on. Can you guys see it?
Not yet.
Hang on a minute. I got to share my screen. There we go. Let's cancel. We're going to go back here. We're going to share. Go to screen. And yes, there we go. You ready? This is Jump Around from Wisconsin. The Badges.
Is this?
Yeah, this is when Oregon was there playing. It says Wisconsin's Jump Around tradition is so fire, even Oregon had to join in. Check this out. Look at this. The ducks are going. Look at the crowd in the background.
How many ankles were rolled on that?
Yeah, right? Look at the crowd, man. You look at Wisconsin's like, what are they doing? There you go.
So there is, and I'm going to post this, but there was a kind of a 30 for 30 that took place where they actually had one of the members of House of Pain came there and was in the student section, and they went over the history of how it started, why it started, what it did, and It's about 10 minutes long. I'll post it, but it was really cool to see ESPN on those 30 for 30s and everything else does some great stuff behind the scenes. And speaking of which, we're going to talk with, I want to talk with Mike McAndrews from Two Shots in the Ball and Jim. If we ever can get and I was looking, I could not find one, a documentary done on St. Cecilia's League. There's nothing I can find about any documentary on that, which there needs to be one when it comes to
St. Cecilia
that league and with what it did and how long it's been there and everything else. But maybe that's our call. We need to produce a documentary and make some money when it comes to that. But I think been about 50 minutes. I think we're going to call it a night. So this weekend is going to be Father's Day weekend. What are what kind of plans do you guys have for Father's Day weekend?
What do you think?
I'm going to guess the boat.
Yeah.
Miller, you forgot about me. I got a video.
Oh yeah, Jim's got a.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you're trying to get out of here.
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
Shut your mouth, Miller. You let Jimmy talk.
All right, so let me make sure I'm doing this right. All right. So obviously there's an inside joke where you guys always say let Jimmy talk. I think that came from Kathy.
It did.
So I'm going to dedicate this video to her. So just a little background on this. So I've seen this video before, but so this is me playing me as Matthew Stafford, calling a play in the huddle. And in the meantime, you got Sean McVay on the sideline, who is Mike Ward and Mark Miller. So let's see if we can get this going here.
Hey, speed left edge Jack. All right, it's going to be American Exchange. Can it, all right, with 3-jet rib Z Brownie. Oh, easy, listen. 13 duo, Tim. Yeah, here it is. Woo, I got it. Please, stop. Yes, please stop. Oh my God, he's still going. Hey, he's still going. Hey, snatch this if you get him, right? I mean, he's still going. You're 1.5 yards from an edge split in the middle. I mean, this is unbelievable what I'm getting right now. Holy boys. Hey, speed left edge Jack. All right, it's going to be American Exchange.
Oh boy.
Can it, all right, with 3-jet rib Z Brownie.
That is spectacular.
Hold on.
Oh, you got it more?
As much as I know about football and as much as I've been a part of that game,
No.
I'm horrible with all that.
You are the foremost expert on everything football, Miller. Yes, of course. Jim, you have more? This is great.
No.
More for Jim.
Oh man. I wanted to experience more of that. Hold on, I think I have one more little video I'm going to share too here. This is the hold on.
There we go. Jesus.
Oh, you got something
my
else?
God.
Oh, hang on. I'm almost
Where'd
there
Jim
too.
go?
Oh man. Epic.
Jim's gone.
Did Jimmy leave?
He must have got kicked out.
Anyways, so what are you doing? What are your plans for Father's Day?
Kathy said to me, she's like, "What do you want to do for Father's Day?" I haven't even thought about it yet. Carter is spending time with his dad's family next weekend. So they go up north. They do a canoe trip. They do some other stuff. But I think we're just gonna stick around the house. We're not gonna do anything.
Sorry about that. I couldn't get the thing to turn off.
That's okay. So we're just gonna do something probably around the house and maybe go go grab something to eat somewhere. Just do something with Charlotte and Kathy. Maybe do some putt. Maybe just think something Charlotte would like. But that's about it.
A public service announcement for all of those dads out there to the families. I think most dads would say, "I just want to relax, not have a honey-do list." Not me. I don't know if I can relax, but going to the boat,
barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, what are you doing?
I want
to come to the boat, aren't you?
Morning like Miller.
You got a what?
Just coffee and just days off.
Oh yeah. You really need to record one of those sessions where these said days off into nowhere.
So that being said, we have to plan a Miller Does a Car Wash, clean a car.
Yeah, we got a lot to do.
A couple of these videos when it comes to that. So these next couple of weeks are going to be busy. We probably won't have a episode next week. We're going to do a best of after our first 9, but So
is that your idea?
No, I don't know. We're gonna be busy. Maybe we'll do it next week.
Oh, hold on. Take the music down for a minute. Let's talk about it really quick, because otherwise I'm going to forget.
That's true.
So
How'd the CPL go?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So what I was saying before my computer cut me off, it's pretty neat. It's very educational. I learned a lot more than I even like my wildest imaginations thought I would. How they bring to light about de-escalating. I guess that would be the main word that I really learned from that whole thing. De-escalation from road rage. Like, just don't do it. The thing that and I didn't realize is how the law perceives aggression. By you engaging in even hand gestures from inside of your vehicle to another vehicle, another individual, you're actually in the law, the way they view it, you are engaging in aggressive behavior. So let's say both cars pull over on the side of the road. You're in your vehicle and the opposing person comes up to your vehicle. What they recommend is, 1, don't pull over. 2, if you are going to pull over, don't even put the window down. 3, you put the window down and all of a sudden the other person pulls a gun on you. The law can actually look at that as you weren't in self-defense necessarily, because you engaged in a conversation and aggressive behavior with that person. So again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it, but it was pretty amazing and how they went over different situations, being mugged in an alley, just everything that you have to be unbelievably responsible to carry a handgun, whether it's in the state of Michigan or anywhere else in this country. But I thought it was really interesting how they just kept driving home de-escalation, right? That's actually how it that's my whole rant thing. Cause there was a scenario in a restaurant with an unruly customer toward the wait staff, how you as another patron in that restaurant would get involved to try to maybe, calm that person down that was yelling at a wait staff. Again, that's kind of how my rant started off. But you might be trying to de-escalate that situation, but again, you become the aggressor. If that person pulls a gun out, you can't necessarily, I'm not saying you couldn't, but you can't necessarily say, hey, I'm defending myself, I'm defending somebody else. I would highly recommend anybody take that class, even maybe if you don't want to have a handgun, you don't want to have a handgun, you don't want to get your CPL. I think it was so enlightening to me, and the instructors did a great job. These guys were just phenomenal. One was active duty police officer, the other one basically, had a lot of background with ammunition, guns, and everything else. But these guys were just unbelievably informative. I can't say enough about them. We actually got to go to the range, got to shoot, and then Bobby and I both went and applied this morning at the county clerk's office. So, yeah, it was very, very cool, very, very enlightening, very educational. Yeah, so there you go. No, I didn't take any videos. Not allowed to.
Yeah, when you sent that text, I'm like, I think that's frowned upon. But
yeah, no, you definitely can't do that.
So it's videotaping on the field during the game.
No,
well, I had to.
I don't know where that came from.
Listen, it's a whole different world. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty nervous, adrenaline, whatever you want to call it. They did both simulation fire, real fire. It was pretty adrenaline pumping, to say the least. But shout out to those guys and their class and everything that went along with it. So it's pretty neat.
Absolutely. I think it's an important thing, because the idiots that are out there with guns are by far not the people that are the law-abiding people that really do it. Like, I can't stand guns. I'm not a gun person, but it's your right to have a gun, protection, everything else, hunting, all these different things you need guns for, and they're extremely popular. Not popular, but they're needed. There's different reasons to have.
Yeah, the key word that you just said there, and again, I don't think we want to go on into a long rant about this, but responsibility, having things that have that high of responsibility, that level of importance of something. You're talking about life, right?
Yeah.
And having things in the hands of the right people and not in the hands of the wrong people. So, it was again the focus on de-escalation and responsibility. I thought was just phenomenal. It really was. It was a pullback from everything that's going on in society today, and kind of harken back to when we were young. Like, you are responsible individuals. Be stand-up individuals. Take ownership of things. And just be an outstanding citizen. And I think if all of us, I guess this is again the rant, if all of us take a step back, take a deep breath, and just go, hey, this is the right thing to do. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's something that we can all strive for.
It's just proof, no matter what your age is, you can be educated on something you're not well aware of.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Listen, I know everything. You can't teach me anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Right? A wise man once told me, I look forward to getting older so I can learn more. He said it's the opposite of what everybody else says. Everybody else says, well, I don't want to get older. I don't want to grow old. He says, every 10 years, I take a look back and I think about everything I've learned and how much more educated I am now. Just on everyday stuff, not even book smart stuff, right? Just life in general. That's so important. It's so important to learn from, and I tell the kids this all the time, learn from your mistakes, right? If you make the same mistake over and over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. But if you can learn from your mistakes and then use it in your everyday life, again, I think that's something we should all strive for.
I mean, how often do most of us say or think, if I could go back knowing what I know now?
Oh, yeah.
There's
Kidding me?
so much truth into that. Yeah.
Yeah. And if only I knew.
You know what? We're getting a little bit too.
What? Oh, now I turned the music on again. Andrew Miller.
What would Miller do?
That being said, once again, thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate it. Father's Day coming up. So try to have an episode next week. If not, best of
Happy Father's Day, guys. Yeah, happy Father's Day. Everybody have a great week. The weather does not look all that great, but whatever.
Stay positive.
I'm trying.
Take a deep breath. Step back.
Thanks again, everybody, for listening. Thanks for everything you're doing. We appreciate it all.
Keep liking us. Keep following. Keep sharing.
Like, follow, tell everyone about it. Have a great week.
See ya.
See you guys.